It was on June 6, 1944. And I could be considered a leader then. And so that carried me forward. I knew I could do the things necessary for a pilot in the U.S. Air Force, and I did them. Nothing genius about it, but I was very lucky. I could grit my teeth and go through. I guess I did. I went to school to become a lieutenant. I did that, and I was supposed to be a decision maker who could carry out decisions with a combat crew of 10 who came from various points of American life, some worthy, some not so good. But I had 10 fellows in each of my little cadre. I wasn't even aware that I was doing anything special. I was just doing my thing as a pilot. And I wasn't talking about it very much. I was just very glad that I got through alive. And I was a neophyte at the time. I like to think that I learned a good deal about war right away, quick, not just as an observer from a distance, but I was right in it and in force. I'm not bragging about anything. I'm simply saying that I was there twice in one day. A big battle was going on in Confrance with those who got up the hill. C-A-E-N is right. The big battle was going up there, and I had to go right into it, and did. And they had me hang out in the North Sea to wait until they got information that said that I was legitimate or not. Meantime, we were running out of fuel in some of our aircraft. We've been around the Horn 2 times in the same day. Some of them ran out of fuel. It was a god-awful mess. There were the ground forces of the American troops were fighting at great odds. Germans were prepared and armed deeply, and we were on the move. They apparently running around trying to get our wits together. This was a muddy thing that was spread straight up 300 feet or so, so they had to crawl up. It was a terrible scene, and terrible. It looked like it was an impossible set of circumstances they faced. It occurred to me, and it was. Our fighter planes, a tremendous thing it was, and the Luftwaffe just had small, lightweight aircraft, and they could go down and get fuel again and again, and come back as long as they stayed alive. And our guys could only go one time, and they had to go back to England and fill up with fuel again. And most often, they didn't come back. First time I had about 14 or 15, and the second about 30 or 40. The second time around. And I was a leader. And in my airplane, they had a device called IFF, Identification Friend or Foe. And I had to make certain that people back in the United Kingdom, when I was over bombing on the German side, knew that I was planning to return. But I was hit right in the IFF and it broke up in pieces right next to where I was sitting. I think I parked over the North Sea until they could get the serial numbers and the colors of the flares that I was supposed to be flying. And they weren't ready to let me back in again. They were thinking maybe I suspect they were thinking I was a German spy and I was going to drop some product out of a German group of aircraft. But I was okay. It's a calming thing that happens to you when you knew you had a job to do and you understood what your responsibilities were. And I had to learn this. A lot of my compatriots that had been to flying school with me, we were all neophytes, no real experience. No one ever killed so fast. I hardly knew any of them. I did know one guy that I had breakfast with that morning, and he had a nice, beautiful new airplane as I did. He let the Catholic priest blessed him, and then we walked onto our airplane, shook hands, said goodbye, and then he was hit in the left wing. I remember an orange fiery flare coming out of his left wing, and it got to be a big one. And he said, "So long, Mort," and blew up in my face, 10 men. And I don't think about any heroism. Then people started using the term, the greatest generation, and I was thinking, what are they talking about? There have been generation after generation. Go back to World War I. And then we go back to the Civil War, and there they lost hundreds of thousands of people, and I really felt guilty. I didn't just want to keep making a lot of money. I really wanted to do things. It began to dawn on me, really I want to do things for mankind. And I began accumulating funds, and I made contributions in places I never thought I would. At Wayne State and at Henry Ford Health System were two of the most important ones. And that's when I became a philanthropist. And I stopped just piling up the money. I'm speaking from the heart. So I spent a lot of the balance of my life doing just that. Am I getting through to you?